We are the only single-sex school in the region. We have around 880 students, and they are made up of the preparatory school, the boarding house and the young parent school. We noticed that our behavioural issues were on the increase, and we were based on a very traditional model. Students were coming in with different pressures from society, and we wanted to react to that and put in place some systems that would support what was being reflected in wider society.
We went from a more traditional model where we had a 15-minute tutor time at the beginning of each day. This ended up being a undervalued system by both students and staff in terms of it was more kind of a negative start of the day. Why you were in the incorrect shoes, where were you yesterday in terms of attendance, etc. And we realised that we had a changing needs of our students, and deans couldn't do it all in terms of pastoral care. And we also recognised that as teachers in the 21st century, we're all teachers of wellbeing. We felt a real need to enhance and strengthen relationships with students, between teachers and students, and we felt that we needed to look for a platform that provided us to do that.
We were looking at research-based evidence, factoring in timetabled mentoring time. So we put an investment into our teachers, and we made sure that in the timetable, teachers were in charge of a mentoring period. We then put together all our students into 5 groups, and we placed a dean in charge of those groups. Those groups are vertically based, which means that we have year 9 through to year 13, and those students get to mix with each other. We call those groups pūtoi, and each pūtoi has around 11 arahi inside those groups. In arahi time, there is often an older student who acts as a role model and is sometimes a big sister, that tuakana tina relationship. So for us it was really important that we trained up also our year 13s to realise that they were role models and that the younger students were looking to them for guidance and experience.
It's actually a time students have said to us that it's a time in the day where they have no assessments, no judgment, and they're often just talking about what's on top.
I think it's really scary to start a whole new different school and not know anyone, so it's really good to have like a little group that you know, everyone, different year groups, and it makes you feel comfortable and welcomed, having friendly faces around the school.
It's an opportunity to relax, take a step back, while also kind of connecting with people outside of your year group. I've met a lot of people through Arahi that I would have never met otherwise, and that's been useful to me like academically, because last year when I did my first exams, I was able to get a lot of help from someone older than me who's been through it before.
So in the Arahi process, we often have learning conferences as part of it. It's a key component of it. So the thing I like about them is they're generally led by the student, as opposed to being led by the teacher, which I think is really good. So Robin, at that point, is instantly accountable for the workload, for the results, for the performance. It's not a teacher telling me a list of grades. It's someone who's done the work telling me this is what I've achieved.
Okay, well, that'd be a great idea. We can ask the rest of the Arahi group if they've got some recommendations, couldn't we? A key part of our program is making sure that our staff feel comfortable with delivering the content in Arahi. And having PLD sessions we often get a lot of good feedback about that. An example recently was we did some work around bullying, and having students and staff understanding the definitions of bullying, as well as knowing how to deal with different types of bullying, how to record it.
Lots of things that I thought, whoa, that's not cool. And they're like, oh no, that's okay, we do that all the time.
So another example was looking at data that we have in front of us from our students. One example is around students that haven't submitted for an assessment. And so as a kaiarahi, we can have those conversations, those mentoring for learning conversations, where we actually can have a safe conversation with that student. And how do we start that? And how do we get to some resolution for the student, or provide some support around the student so that we don't have that situation arise again? Also, how do we have those conversations with the whānau? How do we, what is the best way to engage with the whānau and engage in that student to ensure we have successful outcomes in the future? Being a teacher of an Arahi class has allowed me to be that one point of contact for families, caregivers, for our whānau, and has opened up a more fluid relationship with them in terms of their students' learning goals.
I love my arahi. Just putting it out there, I love my arahi, and they are so supportive and so friendly and welcoming. So I love it every time we get to go in there for a period, 30 minutes, and it's really nice.
A key part of our role is to inspire staff to really promote positive mental health within NCG and to inspire our students to realise that well-being is at the heart of everything we do. And in order to get educational outcomes, successful outcomes, we need to be well in ourselves.
Is anyone here within a vote? Yeah. Oh, I got one vote. You got one outstanding.
Our data has shown us that our attendance has increased and our incidents of major discipline have decreased.
I think a key part of the program is to normalise positive mental health. It's everyday conversations. It's not happening to one person, it happens to everybody. We all have issues that we need to address. We just need to be able to manage it. They're everyday stresses, it's normal. And just having those conversations, not just in arahi, but hopefully in the future we'll realise it's just part of life and it happens in maths, in English, in your art lesson, not just an arahi thing.